This is the great stuff, man. Steffi, you should be down with this. This is just the album that makes you think of summer. It reminds me of that sound of summer. I really like, 70s and 80s, R&B-ish type of stuff. Miss Phyllis Hyman, A Beauty, Missed But Not Forgotten. Can't We Fall in Love Again from 81. Love my girl Phyllis. So, I wanted to answer your thread. I was thinking about it recently. As I said yesterday in my last video, got that cherry limeade too. See how pretty that is? A good summer mood. I want to talk about your thread, which I love. So, let me show you some good. I know I do this every video. Talking about, like loving the place where what you love with the place where you live, your home. Knowing me, I do like to talk. Let me give you a little background. I don't know if I talked about this stuff in detail or not in my past earlier videos, but, I grew up in New York, grew up in Long Island, elementary, middle, high school, and then in 2005, when I started my first year at college, my family, my parents, my little brother, my sister was already on her own, my parents, my little brother, took off to move down to Huntersville, North Carolina, which is right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, basically. So they moved down here when I was starting my first year at school. My first year, I went to 1 year out of school in Staten Island. And then after that, my last 3 years were in Binghamton, New York, upstate, and I spent an extra year working full-time and just hanging with my people in upstate Binghamton as well. So, Staten Island for a year, driving back to Long Island a lot for friends and ex-girlfriend and whatnot, and also doing the whole upstate New York Binghamton thing. Now, because of that, I had a lot of weird feelings about my home base, especially during that time. I don't really consider, I never did in the past consider North Carolina my home, but I no longer really consider, I don't feel the same way about Long Beach, New York, Long Island, where I'm from. I don't feel the same way anymore. I haven't really been there in a serious way in a really long time. I have friends there, some really, a couple of particular people that are closer friends that I keep in touch with every once in a while and now and again try to call and follow up with, but man, I was there for like one day a year ago. It just didn't really hold anything for me, and I haven't been there since. But it's funny because a lot of people felt like Binghamton, upstate New York, where I went to school, was like, oh man, it's Binghamton, like nothing special. It's really a great college town, but a lot of people used to talk about it as if it's a joke. I think it sort of became the fad to sort of play off on Binghamton being like the, end of the world hole, But while all my friends never felt that way necessarily, it became like my home. Like I would stay there. A couple summers I stayed in my college town instead of coming back here to where my family is, and lived in a home, a house with a couple friends. So that was a really big home base. So let's give you a little backtrack, where I've been. So only since last May, and I did some work for a couple of years and travel a bit for a year and a half or so. So only since this past May in 2011, right? Yeah, around a year from now, have actually been in Charlotte full time, where Charlotte's really my home. And, I'm really starting to fall in love with it and starting to really become my own. And me and Mary sort of discussed it both. She's been here for a few years now, a couple of years now from Boone, but she's starting to really like Charlotte too and doesn't want to leave it. And the number one thing for me is that you have both the city life and that aspect of things, and that type of area, and then you have the suburbs, in the suburban area. You have a lot of nice areas with really nice expensive houses. You have your areas where it's middle class houses, just to get into it. Not to be too political, but you know what I mean. All your types of areas. And then, you can go right into uptown Charlotte. Today I was in uptown Charlotte doing some things for my future job, and I was just walking around, and it just feels really good to finally get to know it better, and knowing when you're around that area, to know the restaurants better and the streets better, because I know I've been there before, but I didn't really get to know it, It's only 20 minutes away from where I live. So the fact that I can go from here right into the city area of Charlotte and get there in 20 minutes, for me, is amazing. You can go in and out without a hassle. In New York, when I was in high school, middle school, if I wanted to go see a band play and go to a concert, and I had to go to New York City, it was $20 for a round trip from the Long Island Railroad getting to Penn Station from my town. You paid it if it wasn't the Hammerstein Ballroom right there. I mean, there's a lot of times where you want to get a cab somewhere. That's going to cost you money. Drinking and eating is going to cost you money. The ticket to go see a concert costs you money. So that stuff adds up. Next thing you know, you're spending $100 or something on one single night. As opposed to like right now, you know, if there's a band playing and I want to go see a band play and the tickets cost $20, I can, you know, and it's only 20 minutes away or 25 minutes, I can drive in and drive out and bam. All I did was spend the money on the ticket and the drinks I had, you know? So it's a whole other perspective, and you know, being from a musical perspective, there's a great scene in Charlotte, which I love too. There's always shows going on. I don't know all the local bands, but I know of their names. I've seen some of them, and it's just cool. There's always something going on. Really cool coffee place around here that I really love that has like things every single Friday and things all weekend actually, almost like every other day of the week where like either bands playing or DJs performing. I've met some people, I've become acquaintances with some of these DJs. Another aspect of food, it's always interesting, there's a lot going on in food here, like any other city. I'm saying things any other city, but these are things I love about it. And you're talking to a newborn Charlotte person, you know? Lots of Goodwills. Always have a Goodwill, that's fun for me, for the music. You know, a big thing also is looking back in perspective is you know, anyone can say this, it's sort of stepping outside the city limit, but I'm going to say friends, family, my community. You know, being a part of my church for the first time since I've been back here pretty much almost a full year, as opposed to being where you grow up in your hometown, you always had your friends from school and stuff, but I'm really happy and really excited that in just 1 year's time, I've made so many acquaintances between my Starbucks job and the customers there and the people I work with. I'll be doing more of that with the people I move into in my new job. But especially like the people in my church, you know, my pastor, the staff there, the people I go to at small group, the intimate relationships I have with the people in my young adult services on Tuesday. So you know, it sounds funny to say, but like it sounds silly, but when you get to know lots of people of the city, it makes you feel more well acquainted with the city, which I never thought until now, but it does make a lot of sense to me. So yeah, that's pretty much what that's pretty much what I'm going for, you know? Unfortunately, there's only like one mega type of store that is knowing boy Henry that, you know, that some people aren't, Trans World owns them and stuff, and the record store, like that one, I'm a fan of it, and I mean, obviously it does suck having these stickers on here that they put on there, but I mean, that's the least of my worries, you know? Even though I'm going to go through my collection, take care of it one day. But with that, and then one little small independent store, other than that, there's no other record store, so it's not like in California, where I think a lot of people can like find lots of stores everywhere. But I'm just talking that stuff because it's BC. But it's really what I do, basically, is I work, I go to Mary's, work, I go to Mary's again, and, you know, go look around some stores. So, but yeah, so I love being part of Charlotte. It's a great city. It's really worth visiting. There's lots of really nice areas where you can like be in the city for one point, and 15, 20 minutes later, as all that time, you end up being in an area where, you know, you have long, windy roads with lots of field on the sides with cows, and you're just like, whoa, it's almost like being in another territory, you know? So, great thread. I hope I just gave you some cool stuff to get a better idea of what I'm up to and what it's like for me being here. And I really enjoyed opening you about California. Very informative, a really nice story to get to know because I never went to California. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, Steffi. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will talk to you guys soon.